The news begins in South Africa, where another two people alleged to be co-instigators of the public violence that hit parts of the country last month have been arrested. One of those arrested has been taken in by the police. One of the arrests took place in KwaZulu-Natal, while the other took place in Gauteng. The arrest follows scenes of looting, unrest and public violence in two provinces in the country at the beginning of last month, which caused billions of rands in property damage. The arrest started after former South African President Jacob Zuma was incarcerated for his 15-month contempt of court case. Police say the investigations against those who incite, instigate or conspire with others to commit crimes, including public violence. Joining me now for more on this is editor and journalist Candace Bailey. Good to see you, Candace. And well, what do we know about the people arrested?
Good evening, Suleiman. Indeed, the two people that were arrested at the weekend, one in KwaZulu-Natal and one in Gauteng. In Gauteng, we see a 36-year-old mother of two who was arrested, and we know that her arrest has been linked to some very inflammatory remarks that she posted on a social media account at the time of the unrest. In KwaZulu-Natal, we have a 35-year-old security guard at a shopping mall that was arrested. From what we understand, based on the charges he's facing, is that it's linked to a video that he had made on the 11th of July, where he had said that the shopping mall that he was guarding was closed, but if it were open the next day, he would be, they would be entering and looting. What we understand happened on the 12th of July at the Brookside Mall in KwaZulu-Natal is that it was looted and significantly torched, and that is what his cases relate to.
You know, that's a big feat for the authorities in South Africa, trying to apprehend some of these instigators. But again, what happens in terms of the cases that will be brought against these and others?
That's correct, Suleiman. In fact, there are 18 people that have been arrested. At the beginning of the unrest, at the beginning of July, when we had these terrible scenes in South Africa, our President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the nation and said that he believed that there were 12 instigators that they were investigating and looking into. We now know that there are 18 people. And of the 18 people that have been arrested, there have been some very high-profile people. We've seen an advocate be involved in those cases. We've seen a former radio DJ on a vernacular radio station, an isiZulu radio station called Ukhozi FM, be arrested. There's also been one of the activists in the Fees Must Fall protest from 2015, where they were protesting against the rising school higher education fees, also be involved. Now, some of these people are still in custody, and some of them have been given bail. In fact, Zama Swazi, who appeared at the weekend, who was arrested, the mother of two that was arrested at the weekend, she has now since been given bail in the Gauteng court. The security guard, he appeared in camera and he hasn't been given bail yet. They believe that he needs to go into a before police lineup, as well as some of the other people in Gauteng. The arrests are across the country. They're not only in Gauteng and in KwaZulu-Natal, they are also in the Free State, and that's where the police have obviously been able to track all these different people and who they believe are instigators in these cases, and the cases are ongoing.
Well, it would seem that, there are potpourri of issues, leading up to this protest, because initially everyone thought they were all linked to the incarceration of the former president, Jacob Zuma. Now there's also been these developments you highlighted. So what then happens to some of those that will be arrested, especially now that we see that, we have some other issues that the country is dealing with?
Indeed. What we're seeing is that I think, obviously, as the police have mentioned in a statement they released earlier this week, is that the investigations are still ongoing. Some of the cases are linked to the initial incarceration of our former president. For example, Ngiziwe Mchunu, who is the former DJ from Ukhozi FM, he had put out a series of videos on his social media accounts saying, giving the current President Cyril Ramaphosa 3 days to release the former president or see chaos erupt in the country. So there's obviously a clear link between the unrest and the incarceration of the former president. And obviously police are now following up on those cases. They have, however, given him bail. So I think they do believe that he's linked, but they were able to give him bail. Some of the other incidents have been linked to Jacob Zuma. Some have been linked to the unrest particularly. And I think police are still trying to figure out which is where and how they link the cases. All the people have, however, been charged with inciting public violence in South Africa, and that's really clear from the cases that they are looking at.
All right, Candice, many thanks for sharing your insights with us.